You might be surprised to hear this, but one of the biggest challenges in American transportation today isn't just fuel prices or traffic, it's a shortage of truck drivers. That's right, driving a truck is tough work. Drivers get tired, they deal with long hours, and not everyone wants to sign up for that kind of lifestyle. So when you hear stats like Tesla's fleet has saved over 1 million gallons of diesel or 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds with 800 miles of range, it's easy to dismiss them as flashy marketing. But what do those numbers really mean for the people behind the wheel? How are the drivers using the Tesla semi-fleet actually benefiting? That's what really matters. So today, we're going to break it all down and look at how the Tesla Semi is delivering real, everyday value, not just headline-worthy stats. Welcome back to Auto Intel. In this video, we're diving into what those big achievements mean in practical terms. We'll explore the real-world benefits from 3 different angles to understand how these figures actually translate into value for operators, fleet owners, and the environment. If you're passionate about EV tech and want a clearer picture of how Tesla's Semi is changing the game, you're in the right place. Let's start with that diesel fuel figure. On June 3, 2025, Tesla hit a major milestone. Its semi-fleet had saved over 1 million gallons of diesel, avoided more than 10,140 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions, and racked up about $318 million in operational cost savings across 6.6 million miles. That's a serious achievement. To understand the environmental impact, consider this. Burning a single gallon of diesel releases around 10.14 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Multiply that by 1 million, and you get over 10,140,000 kilograms, or 10,140 metric tons, of CO2 that never made it into the air. To put it another way, that's like taking more than 2,200 gasoline-powered cars off the road for an entire year. And remember, heavy-duty trucks may only be a small slice of the total vehicles on American roads, but they contribute a much larger share of emissions. That's exactly why electrifying this sector is so important. Not just a nice bonus, but a necessary step toward reducing emissions on a large scale. And this isn't just good for the planet, it's great for the bottom line too. Every logistics manager out there cares about one thing in particular: cost. According to recent estimates and analysis from sources like Cleaner Watt, a Tesla Semi saves roughly 48 cents per mile compared to a diesel truck. That's counting both energy and the potential for lower maintenance, since EVs have fewer moving parts. So let's run the numbers and see how the Semi stacks up. The Tesla Semi uses about 1.7 kilowatt-hours of electricity per mile, with the average US electricity rate sitting at 13.45 cents per kilowatt-hour. That works out to around 23 cents per mile in energy costs. Now, compare that to a diesel truck, which averages about 6.6 miles per gallon. At $4.70 a gallon, that's 71 cents per mile just on fuel. That's a straight-up difference of 48 cents per mile. Multiply that across 6.6 million miles, the total Tesla has reported, and you're looking at $318 million in savings. That's not a minor edge. That's a structural shift. Tesla isn't just competing with diesel anymore, they're outperforming it, especially when it comes to long-term operating costs. And don't forget, this doesn't even count the savings from reduced maintenance or tax credits. We'll get into those next. If you're finding this interesting so far, hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your support keeps Auto Intel growing and helps us bring you even more EV insights. Tesla's not just building a few test trucks, they're scaling up in a big way. Back in 2022, Elon Musk shared in an earnings call that Tesla was aiming to produce 50,000 semis annually by 2024. And while production has had some delays, recent reports from Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada show serious progress. Over $3.6 billion has already been invested in semi-production and battery manufacturing. This isn't just talk, it's real momentum. Major players are already getting on board. Take PepsiCo, for instance. They were the first major company to roll out the Tesla Semi in commercial operations. Right now, they're running semis from facilities in Modesto, Sacramento, and Fresno. To support this shift, they even secured $15.4 million in state funding to help expand their electric fleet. PepsiCo's goal, net zero emissions by 2040, and they're not just talking the talk. With 50 Tesla semis and 75 electric Ford e-Transit vans already in the pipeline, they're on their way. They estimate that if a fleet rolled out 10,000 semis, the total savings could hit $4 billion over the life of the trucks, even when you factor in the upfront price, $250,000 for a Tesla semi versus $150,000 for a diesel truck. The long-term gains are hard to argue with, especially when you include up to $40,000 in federal tax credits per truck. That's a serious financial upside. So what we're seeing here isn't just a cool milestone or a marketing push. This is the beginning of a real shift in how freight is moved in America. Diesel's long-time dominance is facing real competition. Competition that's cleaner, quieter, and cheaper to run. And it's not just Tesla in the race. Companies like Daimler, Volvo, and Freightliner are chasing the same future. But for now, Tesla is leading the charge, proving that electric trucks aren't just practical, they're better. Whether you're a tech fan, a fleet manager, or someone who just wants a cleaner future, this is a turning point worth paying attention to. Now, let's talk about that $250,000 price tag. Yeah, it's a lot. Nearly double the price of a standard diesel truck, so is it worth it? Let's take a closer look. For someone running a fleet or managing logistics, it's not just about sticker price, it's about total cost of ownership. And here, Tesla starts to shine. Operating a diesel truck costs about $1.84 per mile when you include both fuel and maintenance. For the Tesla Semi, it's estimated around $1.37 per mile. That's 48 cents less per mile. Multiply that by 100,000 miles per year, the average distance for a long-haul truck. And you're looking at $48,000 in annual savings. Over 1 million miles, that adds up to $480,000 in savings. Fuel alone is a huge part of that. A diesel truck burns about 0.151 gallons per mile. At $4.70 per gallon, you're looking at 71 cents per mile on fuel. The Semi, using around 1.7 kilowatts per mile and electricity at 13.45 cents per kilowatt, only costs about 23 cents per mile. That's less than 1/3 of diesel's cost per mile. And remember, we haven't even included maintenance savings. Electrics. Vehicles don't need oil changes. They have fewer moving parts, and regenerative braking reduces brake wear. Now, back to that upfront price. With the $40,000 federal EV tax credit, the cost drops to $210,000. And in places like California or New York, state-level grants can push that even lower. PepsiCo, for instance, used $4.5 million in grants to acquire 18 semis. That's $250,000 per truck, basically the full price covered by subsidies. These kinds of incentives won't last forever, but right now they make the transition a lot more feasible. Tesla isn't just winning on cost, it's proving it can deliver where it matters. The Semi can drive up to 500 miles on a single charge, covering the vast majority of freight routes. With Tesla's megacharger network, you can recharge 70% of the range in just 30 minutes. PepsiCo says their trucks average 400 miles a day, and they've installed several 750 kilowatt megachargers to keep things moving. That's not future talk. That's happening now. So yes, the Tesla Semi is expensive up front. But when you zoom out and look at the full picture, the per-mile savings, the incentives, the lower maintenance, the environmental benefits, it becomes clear. This truck isn't just high-priced. It's a high-efficiency investment built for the long haul. And as Tesla expands its battery production here in the US, costs could come down even more. They're building their own battery cells, refining lithium, and handling cathode production, all of which could make the Semi more affordable in the future. Right now, it's a premium option for forward-thinking fleets. But in a few years, it could become the new standard. And let's talk about performance. How can an 82,000-pound truck go up to 800 miles? Recent videos and user reports show exactly. The Tesla Semi's accelerating from 0 to 60 mph in just 5 seconds without a trailer and hitting an unladen range close to 800 miles. It's way beyond what most people thought was possible for an electric truck. Acceleration might not be a top priority for most haulers, but with Tesla's tri-motor electric drive system, the Semi doesn't just move, it surges. One clip from April 30th, 2025, showed the Semi launching from a stop and hitting highway speeds in 5 seconds flat. That's not just impressive, it's game-changing. The real surprise, though, is the range. Tesla originally estimated around 620 miles for the long-range version. But now, internal testing and third-party data suggest numbers as high as 800 miles under ideal conditions. One trial from the North American Council for Freight Efficiency showed multiple unloaded semis hitting up to 750 kilometers, around 466 miles, before recharging. PepsiCo's own tests reached about 684 miles back in 2023. So what changed? Tesla's energy systems have improved a lot. The latest Semi is believed to have a 900 kilowatt battery pack running at 1,000 volts, using upgraded 4680 cells and smart battery management. It's not just about a bigger battery, it's about how it's used. Under light loads or no load, the truck only uses one high-efficiency motor, keeping the other two idle. That saves power. Plus, the Semi's sleek, aerodynamic design, partly inspired by Japanese bullet trains, gives it a drag coefficient of about 0.36, much lower than most trucks. In perfect conditions, mild weather, flat roads, and steady speeds between 40 to 55 mph, the Semi can get energy consumption as low as 1.1 to 1.2 kcal per mile. That's how it hits those massive range numbers. With a 900 kilowatt battery, that translates to 750 to 818 miles on a single charge. These aren't just wild claims, they're technically achievable figures. While real-world use might not always reach those peaks, the potential is there. The Semi's battery sits low, right under the cab, giving it a low center of gravity that improves handling and safety, especially important in long-haul trucking. And at under 2 kilowatts per mile, it remains roughly twice as efficient as a diesel truck in cost per mile terms. So for fleets looking for clean, capable, and efficient trucks with fewer moving parts and fewer emissions, the Tesla Semi could very well become the new standard, not the exception. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, you probably care about where transportation is heading, and the Tesla Semi is one of the most exciting steps in that journey. Cleaner, cheaper, more efficient freight isn't a dream, it's already here. The road ahead is electric, and Tesla is paving it 1 kilowatt at a time. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Auto Intel if you haven't already. Help us hit that 1,000 subscriber goal so we can keep bringing you fresh, in-depth, takes on everything EV, from the latest Tesla tech to future innovations. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.